Hello everyone and welcome back to Alternative Apex Formula Equal here for the fourth round of the 2025 season. We have had a dramatic start to the season so far. 3 different winners in the first 3 races mean this competition is as close as you would expect, considering that in theory all these drivers are in the same machinery here. So the fourth round will take place in Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix here, a track which is famously brilliant for racing. Let's see how they line up here. With some overtaking available, we could see this field look quite different come the checkered flag though. But as they line up, it is on pole position. Charles Leclerc there, leading them away for Ferrari. A strong qualifying position for him, of course. Pierre Gasly in second with a remarkable qualifying for the Frenchman. After a strong qualifying in China, he's backed that one up here. Behind them, Hamilton and Sainz, Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon completing the top 6 there. It's the 2 Red Bulls of Yuki Tsunoda and Max Verstappen behind them. Then it's Alexander Albon and Liam Lawson rounding out the top 10. Just behind them, it's the 2 McLarens in 11th and 12th, with George Russell in a lowly 13th there ahead of Franco Colapinto, Gabriel Bortoleto, Andrea Kimi Antonelli behind him, Isaac Hadjar, Jack Doohan towards the back of the field with Nico Hülkenberg having a very disappointing qualifying for him, Lance Stroll in 20th, and the final grid position goes to Oliver Behrman, as once again it seems the rookies having a tough start to their time in Formula 1 here. The cars and drivers are all on the grid then ready for the race start. The field is feeling the anticipation for a Grand Prix, which could be a very exciting one indeed. As I mentioned, 3 different winners in the first 3 races. Can Charles Leclerc make it 4 from 4? He starts on the pole position, Pierre Gasly in second. Now in China when he started up near the front, didn't go his way in the race. He dropped back quite significantly, but here, maybe, just maybe, it can be different for him. He has no performance disadvantage when it comes to the car, unlike in real life, so maybe he can challenge for this race victory and spring a surprise on some of the more expected favourites coming into this race. Max Verstappen, behind his teammate on the grid, not what he would have wanted in qualifying, but this is why we go racing here on a Sunday. It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. The 5 red lights are on then, and we are racing for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's a good start from Charles Leclerc there. Immediately Gasly drops behind Lewis Hamilton, who gets into second there on the inside line as they break into turn 1. They're 3 wide for the lead. Lewis Hamilton on the inside, Pierre Gasly in the middle. And you can see there, Gasly threading the needle beautifully in his Alpine. He takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Behind them, it's the 2 Ferraris. Charles Leclerc just ahead of Lewis Hamilton, as Fernando Alonso is making a challenge there for that 4th position from Esteban Ocon. Behind them, the 2 Red Bulls of Tsunoda and Verstappen as Sainz. Albon Lawson rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Norris and Piastri are side by side here as they come through the S's for the first time today. Now as they head into the hairpin, you can see it is Norris just ahead of his teammate. They're battling further back down the order. Looks like that's Hülkenberg and Antonelli side by side. Hülkenberg has had some strong finishes so far this season, not where he'd want to be for the start of this one, and already side by side with Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli hasn't had the best of starts to his time in Formula 1 here, but as you can see, he's side by side with Hülkenberg. He knows every position is crucial, although sadly for him, he does appear to have lost that one, but he's fighting back on the inside now as they head up the hill. Antonelli looking down the inside of turn 11. He's going to have a chance here, but as they head up through these sweeping S's flat out to the top of the hill we now climb, it is Antonelli behind Hülkenberg for now, but just ahead of them, Franco Colapinto in his Alpine, so to speak. As up the road we can see the 2 Williams cars are racing into the final corner here. This could compromise their exit onto the straight and leave them under pressure from Liam Lawson behind. You can see there the 2 Williams drivers battling it out hard for supremacy within that team, as Esteban Ocon's making a move here as well as they head down towards turn 1. Ocon on the inside of Fernando Alonso, onto the brakes they go, and it is Ocon in an unusual position here towards the front of the grid in Formula 1 here. Of course, he started the season with that incredible podium, and now he is looking to try and get another here as he's still battling with Fernando Alonso. These 2 former teammates now both at completely different teams. Of course, they were teammates at Alpine now. Alonso has since gone to Aston Martin and Esteban Ocon to Haas, and it seems to be suiting them quite well. Although to be saying that, it's an Alpine in the lead of this race at the moment, so Alpine clearly having a good idea of what they're doing with these equal cars here. But it has to be said, Charles Leclerc is looking fast on the back of the Alpine out front there. Pierre Gasly trying to hold on to this one, but with 3 DRS straights here at Bahrain, we will see a plethora of chances for overtaking as they head towards turn 1 here. Charles Leclerc's going down the inside of turn 1. Hard braking there. That will give him a good run out of turn 1 to Pierre Gasly, who has a big moment through turn 2. And that's going to hand the lead to Charles Leclerc. Gasly does have the DRS though as they head down towards turn 4. Can he make a challenge back for the lead? It doesn't look like he's quite able to do it there. And he will slot in behind, but the next lap comes around, and Lewis Hamilton's reeled into this lead group, it has to be said. Alonso, Ocon and the two Rebels dropping back a little bit here, as Leclerc's going to have to go defensive down into turn 1. Pierre Gasly around the outside, and he gets it done before they even get to the braking zone there. Good stuff from Pierre Gasly. He retakes the lead here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Ocon still stuck behind Fernando Alonso for now. The two Rebels there still with Tsunoda ahead of Verstappen. That is not what Verstappen will be wanting to see at this stage of the race. He knows that he has to get some big points here. He wants to fight for this championship. Although it has to be said, Lando Norris and George Russell both outside the points here. They're the top two in the championship as the two Williams continue to battle here. They've really separated themselves from the rest of the pack because they just can't decide who wants to go ahead it by the looks of it. As we see into the S's, they fall once more. Albon versus Sainz. Two drivers oh so close to each other through there. And you see Liam Lawson looking to try and pick up the pieces of these two battle much harder again now. As we look back to the front of the field, once more it looks like we could have a change of lead here, or maybe not, because look at this from Lewis Hamilton. He's catching Charles Leclerc off guard, and he's going to go through and take that second position away. Can he now take that and take it all the way to lead the race as they battle towards turn 1 once more there? Gasly leads, but they're three wide again here. Gasly again in the middle. This time it's not going to work out for him though, as Lewis Hamilton goes all the way around the outside and he takes the lead of the Grand Prix here. Brilliant stuff, as they're still side by side for second place. Leclerc has the DRS open as they head into turn 4. Leclerc with the inside line there, but Gasly should be able to carry some momentum around the outside, not quite able to do it. Leclerc clears him on exit, and Charles Leclerc makes this a Ferrari 1-2 now. Hamilton to the front. He went from third to first there in the space of that start-finish straight. Quite impressive speed on display there by the British driver, who has only got 1 point to his name this season so far, and it came last time out in Japan. This is really crazy stuff here at the start of this race now. As Ocon once again looking to try and make this pass on Fernando Alonso. It seems that he maybe has a slight pace advantage, but with the power of DRS here, it's hard to tell if it's just the DRS that's making it seem that way. As we head down towards turn 1 here, Liam Lawson side by side with Lando Norris through the first corner. Norris looking to try and get himself up into the points position here. Crucial for one of our championship contenders with Hamilton, Leclerc, Verstappen all up the order ahead of him. He knows they are drivers who should, in theory, be fighting for this championship. So that one position gain, it's not a huge haul of points just yet, but at least it's a sign that he has some speed here. And on the next lap, you can see he's on the back of Carlos Sainz as they head down the main straight once again here. And Lando Norris looking to try and make a move as they head towards turn 1 now. Lando Norris on the inside, he's going to get it done as they break into the first corner. Norris up into 9th position there as behind them there's some battling behind, as that looks like Hulkenberg and Bortoleto both making their way through the field at the moment. Bortoleto on the back of Lawson still. Hulkenberg up into 13th place. He has got past Franco Colapinto, but Lando Norris now into 9th place. The leaders now making their way down towards the final corner. Lewis Hamilton just ahead of Charles Leclerc. We're getting to the halfway point of the race. Will we see any pit stops yet? It doesn't look like they're coming in just yet. Yes, they are. I take that back. Charles Leclerc is going to be the first leaders to come in, as is Pierre Gasly. Alpine and Ferrari trying to perhaps undercut Lewis Hamilton in the lead here as they all head into the pit lane behind. You can see that's Esteban Ocon. Max Verstappen's going for the undercut strategy as well here. A few drivers staying out on track, as you see Leclerc coming out of his garage before Verstappen's even got to his. So that shows you how far back that Red Bull is. As we look down towards turn 1, that's Liam Lawson going down the inside of Carlos Sainz into the braking zone of the first corner. They're going to be wheel to wheel as they come through turn 1 there, and that looks like it's going to be Sainz that has the run through turn 2, but Lawson keeps his nose in there, and that could give him the chance here as they battle up towards turn 1. Oh, we've got a spinner out of the pit lane. Oliver Behrman appears to have had an incident there with perhaps one of the cars leaving the pit lane. Charles Leclerc, one of the cars there, who was around that incident, which is a bit of a scary moment there for a driver who had just exited the pits and was in the fight for the win here. But Oliver Behrman looks like he has some problems getting this car going, and we could well see the safety car is deployed. The safety car is out there. Behrman stranded on the exit of the first corner there. That's a very dangerous place to be parked. Piastri down at the back of the field, but with the safety car out, Lewis Hamilton, well, he may have been feeling a bit worried there when he saw everyone pitting behind him, but the safety car means he will have a reduced time in pit lane. Well, technically not a reduced time in pit lane, but a reduced time lost in pit lane, as the cars on the racetrack will be going that little bit slower, and that will give him the chance to, in theory, pop out straight into the lead of this race, and indeed he does just that there, comfortably so. Even perhaps Fernando Alonso could get up into second here. He's going to be exiting down through the pit lane, and you can see there, that is Fernando Alonso up into second place, and Yuki Tsunoda into fourth place here. Pierre Gasly, that's not what he wanted to see. After battling for the lead in the early stages here, he's dropped down into fifth place, and we've seen already this season that perhaps when you drop into that mid-pack of the top 10, that's when you sort of lose connection to the leaders in this race. But you can see as the field makes their way out through turn 1, everyone now having served their pit stop. Behrman with an instant there, he has kept going in this race, so he's still in it, but some drama there for the British driver in the Haas, who is still yet to score points this season. Now we see Lewis Hamilton leading the field through the final corner here, getting ready for the restart here. Fernando Alonso behind him. What year is it with these two at the front of the field? It is quite a throwback indeed. Lewis Hamilton, as the lights at the front of the field are still yellow for now, but now they go out, and we're racing once more here. The green flag flies, and Lewis Hamilton leads the field down towards turn 1 here. Fernando Alonso is in behind as they head to the first braking zone lap. It's all pretty single file here until you get to the middle of the field, and that's Liam Lawson going back down the inside of Carlos Sainz. Those two are battling just before we saw that safety car come out just a few moments ago, and now they're battling once more here on the restart. Liam Lawson has the momentum as they come through turns 2 and 3, as he's battling further up the field as well there. Looks like Esteban Ocon side by side with Max Verstappen as they come out of turn 1 here. Verstappen and Ocon, both drivers who will find themselves sort of looking to try and gain positions in this final stint of the race, but if they keep going side by side, they're not going to be able to stay with that lead group here at this stage. Lando Norris behind, he's up to 8th position now by going that little bit longer as well. He gained a position there through that safety car. That's crucial for him and his championship hopes, as we only may be in round 4 of the season. But you know, in Formula 1, every point is absolutely critical here. As we see, this is Charles Leclerc looking to try and make the move on Fernando Alonso into the final corner of the lap here. It'd be a bold move to go all the way around the outside. Alonso tried to squeeze him out on the exit curve, not quite able to do it there though. As behind them, Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly looking to try and take advantage of this battle. DRS not yet enabled on the restart. They will have it down the next straight though after this one, but Alonso with the momentum off the final corner looks like he's just about going to hold on to that position over Charles Leclerc as they head through turn 1. And Leclerc, though, it has to be said, really pushing hard, and he's got those medium tyres on. He's going to hold on to that position. Alonso on the hards now in this second stint. That is going to compromise his chances at holding on to some of these positions towards the front of the field though, but Lando Norris is making another move here as Ocon, another one of those drivers on hard compound tyres, using his mediums in that first stint to try and boost his track position. Now with the field being bunched up here for that restart, it's really hurt those drivers doing that particular strategy. As you see side by side racing here, that's Antonelli, and that is, I believe, the Alpine of Jack Doohan as they come through the S's, and that is Antonelli getting that position up the order. As now we see this is Liam Lawson, the next 2 past Esteban Ocon. Again, those medium tyres proving to be the superior tyre towards the end of this race. But Ocon looking to fight back here as they head into turn 1. He's going to go back down the inside here. We know Esteban Ocon, he's a feisty driver. He doesn't want to give up these battles. He slots back in though to 9th position. Liam Lawson just ahead now is behind. Battling once more here. Carlos Sainz ahead of Gabriel Bortoleto. Bortoleto looking for his first points of the season. But here we see once more, it's Lawson versus Ocon out of turn 4. Liam Lawson has the tyre advantage here, and as he heads into the S's, he's going to get that move done. As we look further down the field, Franco Colapinto, he's trying to get his first points of the season here. He's down the inside of Gabriel Bortoleto. Bortoleto looking for that top 10 finishing position, but on those hard tyres is going to have his work cut out here. Franco Colapinto on the medium tyres there. The 2 Williams cars, which were battling inside the top 10 for the first stint of the race, now find themselves battling to get into the top 10. Carlos Sainz currently in that 10th position, but we see Alex Albon perhaps starting to lose touch just a little bit here. But as we are now on the final lap of the race, Lewis Hamilton, he has 1 point to his name this season, and it came in the Japanese Grand Prix. But he's put all of that behind him here in Bahrain. He has been unstoppable after taking the lead. It's Lewis Hamilton who wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc in second. Fernando Alonso returns to the rostrum there in 3rd position. It's a Ferrari 1-2 here in Bahrain. Incredible stuff for the Maranello team as they have just thrusted themselves back into this title charge. Wow, what a season we have on our hands here. 4 different winners from the first 4 races. Wow, Ferrari are back here in Formula 1, and they do it in style. It's a 1-2 for them. Fernando Alonso completing the podium positions there at the end. That is 2 very experienced drivers on the podium there. And a very happy Lewis Hamilton. No surprise considering where his season has been so far. He takes his place there on the top step of the podium. Who would have thought that after his start to the season? Lewis Hamilton is well and truly back, folks. Could he put himself into this title fight? It's going to be quite the challenge, but you can never rule him out here. As he lifts the trophy aloft there, Ferrari with a 1-2 there. The battle with Pierre Gasly in the early stages was a fascinating one, and in the end Hamilton made the move when he had to make it, just before the pit cycle, which inevitably then led to him getting that little sort of slightly shorter pit stop time loss due to the safety car. And as a result of that, he had the lead and he had it comfortably. In the end there, Leclerc was not able to reel him in, and Lewis Hamilton takes a very impressive victory there. So here we see the official results for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Hamilton taking fastest lap as well in that race ahead of his teammate Charles Leclerc, who dropped a second in that one. Fernando Alonso from 5th up on the podium positions. Yuki Tsunoda made some good progress in that race in 4th position. Pierre Gasly in 5th there. Disappointing race for him when he considered he was fighting for the lead early on, but in the end still a solid 10 points added to his tally this season. Max Verstappen in 6th place. He gained positions in the race, but he never truly looked like a contender for the victory here today. Lando Norris in 7th. A solid recovery drive for him, but who doesn't want to be starting back there. He needs to be starting near the front more often. Liam Lawson in 8th and Esteban Ocon in 9th, with Carlos Sainz rounding out the top 10. In the Drivers' Championship, it is Lando Norris who still leads the way, but now only by 11 points. It's got much closer now, hasn't it? As George Russell drops down to 3rd in the championship. He's 12 points off the lead now. Leclerc is the closest contender. Max Verstappen 22 points off the lead. It's a big margin still, but we know, again, if that engine hadn't gone bang in the season opener, he would be right there. So he clearly has the speed to contend for this championship. Fernando Alonso having a strong season here in 5th place, considering he is the oldest driver on the grid by a fair margin. He is doing an incredible job this season in equal machinery. Carlos Sainz 7th, Yuki Tsunoda in 8th. Ocon in 9th, and Oscar Piastri, not what the season he would have wanted to have had so far here, quite contrasting to a season he's having in real life, down in 10th in the Drivers' Championship so far this season. In the Constructors, it is only a 3-point margin between the two main contenders there, McLaren and Ferrari. Ferrari finally showing that they can have an extraordinary result there for both cars, and it is no surprise that they have caught a huge margin there on McLaren. In fact, over half of Ferrari's points this season have come in that race alone. That's how well they did here today. Red Bull just trying to keep them in sight there. Mercedes not too far out of it either. Aston Martin in 5th at the moment, ahead of Williams, Haas and Sauber, with Alpine behind them so far this season. So that's it for the 4th round of the season here in Alternative Apex Formula Equal here. I do hope you all enjoyed that race. It was a very fascinating race indeed there. But now we head to Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We go from one battle in the desert to another here. And with even more DRS and even more straights in the Jeddah Corniche circuit, we could see even more racing for the victory. It could almost be like a cycling race, sort of peloton style, drivers exchanging the lead as they try and sit behind managing their tyres. Who knows what we could see though as we head to the next round of the season. I do hope you'll all join us again in a week's time, but thank you very much for watching this one. Until next week, it's goodbye.